Amritantu Vidya, transforming the youth to modern managers and building ideal business practices to beat ever-changing business environment. Welcome to Poornaprajna Institute of Management, where knowledge is endurable.
ನನ್ನ ಗುರುಗಳು ಆರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ ಪೂರ್ಣಪ್ರಜ್ಞರ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಪೂರ್ಣವಾದ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಉಳ್ಳವರು ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಮಧ್ವರು, ಭೀಮಸೇನನೇ ಮಧ್ವರು, ಹನುಮಂತನೇ ಭೀಮಸೇನ. ಹೀಗೆ ಅವರ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಆರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಓದಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಅವರ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಈಡೇರಲಿ. ಓದಿ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರುವಾಗ ನನ್ನ
Everyone. I'm Priya, Assistant Professor, Department of MCA. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the pre-inaugural session of the International Conference on the Relevance of Ancient Indian Knowledge to Management and Technology of the 21st Century, organized by Poornaprajna Institute of Management, Udupi. The theme of this pre-inaugural session is Traditional Knowledge in Agricultural Management, which beautifully connect our ancient wisdom with modern agricultural practices. The guest of this pre-inaugural session is Dr. Krishna Kottai. So we warmly welcome you to the stage. Every special occasion begins with warm gesture of welcome. I request Dr. Bharati Karati to florally welcome our distinguished guest, Dr. Krishna Kottai. Thank you, ma'am. It is a great privilege to introduce Dr. Krishna Kottai, a distinguished academician and development professional with a PhD in rural development. Dr. Kottai is a emeritus professor working for Poornaprajna College, Udupi. He has over 25 years of experience in the banking sector, having served as field officer, project officer, manager, and principal. He was the founder and executive director of the Rural Development and Self-Employment Training Institute, a nationally recognized initiative that has received several awards for promoting entrepreneurship and rural development. Dr. Kottai also served as director of the Center of Rural Studies at Mahe, Nepal, as a development specialist at Azim University, Bangalore. He played a key role as a nodal officer in preparing the Udupi District Human Development Report 2008, which received the National Award from the United Nations Development Program. Dr. Kottai has proudly presented India at several international conferences and was conferred the Lifetime Achievement Award by the International Society for Nature and Science in 2022. We are truly honored to have such an accomplished personality among us. Let us all extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to Dr. Krishna Kottai. Now we look forward to hear from you. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. This is a keynote session from now on till the dignitary descend on the platform and the research scholars inundate this hall with their information and inputs. I would be there, maybe for just 20 minutes. I have not handled this portfolio till date. I was fortunate to attend local, regional, national, and international conferences at different places at different points in time. I had the good fortune of making presentations, making keynote address, being a panel member, and at times designing and executing conferences with a committed team. This is something new because this is pre-conference talk, This I have not handled. I should thank the organizers for having reposed confidence in me and given me this opportunity. The advantage here is this is the first session of the 2 days conference. All of us know what would happen as conference proceeds. The last session, how many would stay, all that we are aware. So I am fortunate to be the first speaker here. And I again thank the organizers for this opportunity. And my topic would be a topic which is very close to my heart. Traditional knowledge in agricultural management. Agriculture is supposed to be, or is, the priority sector of this country. Though we talk so much about IT, BT, and all that came later. Agriculture started during Neolithic age and it expanded over a period of time. All of us know the statistics. We have more than 6.5 lakh villages in this country. We have more than 70% people living in the countryside and more than 60% dependent on agriculture as a livelihood measure. When I say agriculture, I include animal husbandry also. All those things we are aware. The contribution of this sector to country's exchequer is excellent. The export trade. I need not quote those things. All of you are aware. After independence, we had certain crises. One such crisis was crisis connected with food security of the country. Even the population we were having at that time, we were with a begging bowl. PL48 you must have heard. America had to ship so many loads of wheat to India. It went on and on. It was Shri C. Subramaniam, who was then the Food and Agriculture Minister at the central government level, with Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, Padma Vibhushan, who is not only a plant breeder, a great genetist. So they joined hands and they invited a person by name Borlaug. Borlaug not only gave certain wheat seeds, he also came to India. And it was very difficult to convince people to grow those short or dwarf varieties of wheat or paddy later because they were hesitant. And these people, it a team, they went round the country, convinced few people, and those people started growing this dwarf variety of wheat, then paddy. The local counterpart of that wheat was yielding, let's say, 6 to 8 quintals per acre, but the one which Borlaug gave started yielding something like 18 quintals, 20, at times more than that. ये तो चमत्कार हो गया. People started telling. So we would go for these varieties, hybrids. All our agricultural universities and research stations were asked to go for hybrids in almost literally every crop, I will say. IR8 you must have heard. It's an international rice variety from Philippines. And the counterpart, the basic counterpart or the local counterpart would give, let's say, 5 to 6 quintals. The IR8 would yield something like 18 quintals, 20 quintals, at times more, if it is grown by a progressive farmer. So this went on for many years, and people started growing all hybrids and hybrids. Name any crop, some hybrids were found out, they were released, people started growing. That is the first part of the story. And the second part, and the sad part, I must also tell you, when we got independence, the food production was at 55 million tons, grain production. We had a very, very big leap forward, I would say. It went up to in the neighborhood of 150 million tons. Great achievement. Thanks to all those scientists, including Dr. Swaminathan himself, every crop in every part of the country, they started growing. And 60s, you must have heard, we had what's called Green Revolution. Mainly it occurred in Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Eastern Uttar Pradesh, and parts of Tamil Nadu. Huge acres of land were under the yielders and hybrids, and there was a bumper yield actually. And from the begging bowl, we reached a position of bounty actually. Now there was a transformation thanks to science and technology. But I must tell you here a sad story as well. In the quest for growing more, what happened? People started using a lot of fertilizers because these short duration varieties, dwarf varieties, they respond very well for hybrids and high yielders. They respond very well. And there's a luxurious growth. When there is a luxurious growth, it attracts insects, pests, and different types of, I would say, those things it should not be there. So, this attracted using of a lot of pesticides, fungicides, insecticides, weedicides. On one side, you have a success story of growing more. On the other, you have a negative story. Because you have used so much of fertilizers, soils have become sick. Soil is a living organism. If you take a bit of soil and put it under an electronic microscope, you would see a different world in itself. Lots and lots of microbes. The top 6 inches of soil is called topsoil, and one of the most fertile area in the Earth's echelons. So when you add so much of fertilizers, so much of chemicals, naturally soil has lost its health, which is very, very detrimental. That's one part. Lot of water. Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh at that time, Bhakra Nangal. From there they took water and they started growing these varieties. And usage of water was also an excessive requirement. It is said in China, to grow an acre of paddy, how much of water is required, they know exactly, and they would use only that much of water. They would not inundate the field, They don't excessively irrigate. In our country, unfortunately, they irrigated all the lands excessively, and that created, in a way, water crisis. I should tell you some statistics. When we got our independence, every year, annually, we had 5,700 cubic meters of water annually. Cubic meters. Now it is 1,500 cubic meters availability. And it is forecasted by 2050, it would be 1,200 cubic meters. When an area has got less than 50 cubic meters, it is water stressed. We have already states like Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, parts of Tamil Nadu, Bihar, the Daman, NCR, Delhi, they are all water stressed. The second problem is connected with water. Many other problems I would not, because for want of time, I would not get into those things. But the negative aspect of green revolution, the same thing happened with animal husbandry. We are the first in the bovine population. When you talk in terms of cattle, different animals, India stands for bovine population. And there are also a lot of research took place. And that is called white revolution. Green revolution on one side, white revolution on the other. And all these things have negative things actually. Especially I would like to touch upon the green revolution part. Because of excessive use of fertilizers, chemicals, pesticides, fungicides, soils have lost their vigor. The present day situation is very pathetic. You must have heard of Ludhiana, one of the districts in Punjab, where during the Green Revolution period, whatever crops Ludhiana farmers grew, the district stood first in the nation. Be it wheat, be it bajra, be it anything for that matter, Ludhiana stands first. Today, crops can't be grown in Ludhiana. That is the position. Because soils have become so very pathetically sick, nothing can grow. That's unfortunate. All our dams have silted. So it is here the tradition, knowledge, and native wisdom should play a role actually. Now there has been a rethinking. We are talking in terms of yeah. Yeah, she would tell me. I was telling you about the silting of our dams, and I was also talking about Ludhiana's position, which is true with most other places. Take our Malaprabha left canal area. The whole area has become silted, excessive irrigation. You should go and see here, Nargun, Navalgun, Saudati, Belgaum area, Roan and all those places. Even today you see white patches. The salts which are there at different levels have come to the fore, and a hard incrustation of salt has been formed, and the soils have become redundant. Reclamation is possible, but what first? People who are craving for water, when they received irrigation, this is the situation. When you do not know how to use science and technology, this would happen. I was working in that area. When I left that place and I was elsewhere, I met the farmers from that area. Immediately told us, "Sir, ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಗೀತು ಈ ಕಡೆ. Everything is over." Yeah, what happened? Sir, Varalakshmi ನಮಗೆ ಶಾಪ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. Varalakshmi, sir, for your information, sir, it's a long staple cotton. In that area, they used to grow Jaidar, Suyodar, Lakshmi. These are all the local counterparts of Varalakshmi. When Mr. Katarki released a variety from Agricultural University in Harvard, which is a long staple cotton actually, which would fetch many times more price than the counterparts, plus would also cost more, plus the pressure would be more. Because a lot of pest on that. Once in every 5 days, once in every 6 days, we need to spray. When I was traveling in that area as a field officer on my motorcycle, I was feeling, am I in Ludhiana, Punjab, or Haryana? What's happening here? Today, crops are not grown in that area. So I'm just telling you, the traditional agricultural knowledge and the native wisdom. Traditional knowledge is actually, which is a time-tested knowledge, which has been handed over from generation to generation, and, and it's very safe, where it considers the biodiversity. These things would not consider biodiversity at all, which considers a resource endowment actually. You need not use a lot of fertilizers there, you need not spend more. So that is traditional knowledge. And there are so many things. I don't have time to narrate, but let me tell you, agriculture, the, the economics of agriculture is based on, I would say, this traditional agricultural knowledge, not the green revolution part of it, which has given more ills than good things. The traditional agricultural knowledge. Let me give you a few examples, which would probably convince you my argument. There is in Andhra Pradesh, that area, they have what is called a low. It's a device which acts as a rail gauge. Actually, it's on a 3 feet, 3 feet, 1.5 feet granite stone. On that granite stone, 3.7 inches deep, 9 inches diameter, there is a hole. When it rains, when that fills, farmers get an idea that there is sufficient moisture in the soil and we can go for sowing. Water management, we have in this part of the country what are called kattas. Udupi, Dakshina Kannada, even Uttara Kannada, we receive around 2,500 to 3,000 millimeters of rainfall. When it rains, in the form of streams, it flows, the water flows. The kattas are the community work actually. They just come together using the plants, wooden and other locally available people. They put obstructions against the water which flows. What happens there? Actually, water is stored. Even after the cessation of rain, you could use that water for the crop cultivation for a while. Another advantage is the whole area gets recharged, because you have stored water and it gets recharged. Water crisis, I was telling you, it gets recharged. Kattas. We do not have any kattas now. The storage, we have mudi. All of you know, sir, you may not have seen mudi actually, which is made out of paddy straw. 42 kgs, once it's harvested, and they have a particular way of making it. Mudi or kanajas are different types of story. Yeah? Different things we have seen. And the pest management, lot of work has been done in this area. Pest management, I must narrate a story before Priya gives me a warning. Actually, the brinjal are the plants which belong to that family. Cotton, cotton has got many diseases. Hattiga hattu puttu, there is a proverb. This to avoid this bollworm attack. The bollworm attack is supposed to be the worst in this. And what they did, through genetic engineering, Bacillus thuringiensis, one of the bacteria was injected, and the whole plant, gets poisoned in a way. And Vandana Shiva and others, you must have heard their name, the activists, they fought against the concerned companies and they said, you are not only killing the bollworm, you are killing all the pests and parasites which are there in that area. The animals which are feeding, they are dying. What is it you are doing? You are harming the environment, they said. The fight was on. In Gujarat, many hectares of cotton were uprooted actually. There was a huge fight. Such stories are very many, but let me tell you very briefly that these traditional knowledge which is embedded in the native wisdom, which has been handed over from generation to generation, can do the magic. For these hills, I don't know whether you are aware, the insecticides which we use, we don't know the toxicity. There is an insecticide by name Furadol, which is also called carbofuran. It is available in the granular form, and when you apply it on land, the whole plant sucks the furadol, and the plant becomes very poisonous actually. These are all called systemic insecticides, very systemic. Such insecticides are very dangerous. DDT was found out at that time. Okay. She is giving signal. Let me finish it with this example. DDT was found out during the Second World War to avoid mosquito village. Understand the toxicity of DDT, now it's bad. That DDT was sprayed on some grass, some area. That grass was grazed by a cow. And the cow's milk was drunk by a lactating mother. The mother fed her child, with the breast milk. And the traces of DDT, sir, were observed in the urine and fecal material of the child. That is the child. Such dangerous chemicals. When you use your cauliflower, cabbage, and all that, you don't know what is it you are using, what is it you are uh, taking. So these are all the hills. And now the reply appears to be natural farming, zero budget farming, organic farming, etc., etc. Let me conclude my talk by telling during Gautama Buddha's period in Takshashila, one of the very famous universities this country has ever had, there was a student by name Jivika. One day, the teacher called the students and gave a test, not like the test which we offer nowadays. The test was go around Takshashila and bring at least a part of the plant which is useless. It can be a root, it can be fruit, it can be bark, it can be twig, it can be leaf, it can be anything. Bring that. I will give you 3 days. Your time starts now. All the students went around. And after 3 days, she came headload with the plants and all that. Jivika came, getting there. Jivika came grand-handed. And the effect was, Guru asked Jivika, all have brought one of the things. How come that you have come bare-handed? He said, my Lord, my Guru, I couldn't get even a single plant or a part of the plant which is useless. Then why these people have brought this? And he gives an explanation. This is used for this is used for animal, this is used for snake bite, this is used for that, this is for that is the knowledge, that is the traditional knowledge and native wisdom. And the wish for this is ಮಳೆ ಬಂತು ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆಳೆದು ಥರೆ ತನಿಯಲ್ಲ ಥರೆ ತನಿವೆ nowadays we say 1.5 degree Celsius and whatnot. ತಿಳಿಗೊಳಗಳು ಹುಟ್ಟಿ ತುಳುಗಳು ಕರೆಯಬೇಕು. Let all the ponds and tanks fill. We do not have ponds, we do not have tanks, we have nothing left now. I think Professor Ramu is here. Eminent Professor of he comes from Bangalore area. Bangalore had so many tanks, including the one where we have the KSRTC bus stand today. No tank. Even if they are there, they are all silted. ಇಲಿಗೊಳಗಳು ತುರುಗಳು ಕರೆಯಬೇಕು. ತುರುಗಳು means animals, they should eat. ನಳಿನ ಮುಖಿಯರು ಸುಪುತ್ರಿಯರ ಪಡೆಯಬೇಕು. ಲೇಸಾಗಿ ಹರಸುವೆವು ಬಾಲಕರು ಬಂದರು.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful and inspiring talk. Your thoughts have truly shown how traditional wisdom can guide modern agricultural practices. To express our gratitude, I request Dr. Vinay Prabhu to kindly present a memento to Dr. Krishna Kothai as a token of our appreciation. Thank you, sir.
Important
Thank you once again, Dr. Krishna Kothai, sir, for sharing your valuable time and insight with us. With this, we can conclude our inaugural session. Thank you, everyone. Offering my salutations at the lotus feet of Kodami Lord Sri Krishna and Mukhya Prana, and seeking the divine blessings of His Holiness Shri Vigudeshatirtha Swamiji, the revered founder of Poornaprajna Group of Institutions. His Holiness Shri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, the former president, and His Holiness Shri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, the present president of Udupi Shri Adamaru Education Council and the chairman of Poornaprajna Group of Institutions, and Dr. Bharati Karat, professor and academic coordinators of the MBA program of Poornaprajna Institute of Management, extend a warm and respectful welcome to this August gathering. As we begin this international conference on the relevance of ancient Indian knowledge in management and technology in the 21st century, let us recall an eternal verse from the Bhagavad Gita that embodies the very essence of responsible action and ethical leadership. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फलहेतुभूः मा ते संगोऽस्तव कर्मणि. You have the right to perform your duties, but not to the fruits of your actions. Let not the results of your work be your motive, nor let your attachment lead to inaction. These profound words of Paramatma remind us that true progress, whether in management, technology, or life, arises from the dedicated action, self discipline, and freedom from attachment to outcomes. A very good morning to all the distinguished dignitaries, esteemed guests, respected faculty members, international delegates, and dear students. It is indeed a moment of pride and joy to welcome you all to the International Conference on Relevance of Ancient Indian Knowledge to Management and Technology in the 21st Century, organized by Poornaprajna Institute of Management in association with Madhesh University, Nepal, and the Udupi Management Association. This conference celebrates the harmony between ancient Indian wisdom and the demands of the modern world, a confluence of tradition and innovation. On this most delightful occasion, we are privileged to have with us Dr. A.P. Bhatt, Honorary Secretary of the Udupi Shri Adamaru Education Council, Bengaluru, as the President of the program. We are extremely delighted to have amongst us our Chief Guest, Shri Ramesh Vaidya, AGM, Regional Office, Karnataka Bank, Udupi. We are also graced by the presence of our distinguished guests of honor, Professor Dr. Ramanathan Srinivasan, former IAS Fellow Shimla, Professor Dr. KVM Varamballi, former Director, Manipal Institute of Management, Mahi Manipal, Professor Dr. Gopal Acharya, Director, Vadilaja Research Center, Udupi, CAT Prashanta Valla, Honorary Treasurer of the Governing Council of Poornaprajna Institute of Management. We are immensely happy to have with us Dr. P.S. Aital, Director of Poornaprajna Institute of Management, who is a genuine force behind this conclave. I now request Dr. Bharat V, Chief Coordinator of this international conference, to kindly escort the dignitaries onto the dais.
With deep sense of respect and gratitude, we now commence the inaugural session of this international conference. To invoke divine blessings for a successful and meaningful deliberation, let us now listen to a short prayer rendered by our students team led by Ms. Sharada of 2nd MBA.
तारकं चन्दनाचर्चितोदारवीणांसकम् इन्दिराचञ्चलामाकनेराजितं मन्दरोद्धारिरद्योद्भुजभोगिनं प्रीणयामो वासुदेव देवतामण्डलाखण्डमण्डालम् प्रीणयामो वासुदेवं प्रीणयामो वासुदेवं प्रीणयामो वासुदेवम् त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Thank you, dear students, for that program. To set the theme for this significant academic gathering, may I now invite Dr. P.S. Aita, Director of Poornaprajna Institute of Management, to deliver the welcome address.
Morning, everyone. Seeking the grace of Udupi Sri Krishna and Mukhya and the blessings of Swamiji Traya, His Holiness Sri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, founder of Poornaprajna Group of Institutions, His Holiness Sri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, founder, former president of Poornaprajna Group, and His Holiness Sri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, present president of Udupi Sri Adamaru Education Council, Bangalore, and Poornaprajna Group. A warm and heartfelt welcome to His Holiness Sri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, who is watching this proceeding online. Distinguished President of today's inaugural session, Dr. A.P. Bhatt, esteemed chief guest of today's inaugural session, Sri Ramesh Vaidya, the distinguished guests of honor, revered academic leaders, learned speakers, delegates from around the globe, faculty, staff, and students. It is a moment of profound significance for Poornaprajna Institute of Management, as we, in association with Madhesh University, Nepal, and Udupi Management Association, inaugurate the international conference on the relevance of ancient Indian knowledge to management and technology in 21st century. This event, held under the guidance and divine blessings of His Holiness, marks a spiritual and intellectual commencement for our 2 days journey into the deep wellspring of Indian wisdom. The theme of this conference is not merely academic. It is an urgent call for conscious convergence in an era defined by technological acceleration, ethical challenges, and a pervasive search for meaning.
the timeless principles found in ancient Indian knowledge systems from Veda to Arthashastra offers a foundational compass. We believe that ancient perspectives on duty means dharma, non-attached action means nishkama karma, and the vision of collective welfare are the essential for developing sustainable management practices and ethically grounded technology. This conference will explore how, for example, the concept of zero to infinity from ancient Indian mathematics applied to modern digital age, and how the Bhagavad Gita can serve as a medicine for mental disease for contemporary leaders and managers. We are immensely proud of the overwhelming response in our invitation. Over the next 2 days, we will hear 24 invaluable invited papers, presentations, and 47 dedicated contributed paper presentations in parallel sessions with a total of 71 papers, showcasing a true global and interdisciplinary exploration of our theme. The sheer breadth of the topics, ranging from human-centric cyber governance and Ayurvedic insights into modern health to Vedic mathematics and the Arthashastra framework for global markets, underscores the intellectual vigor applied to bridging the ancient and contemporary. We anticipate that the intellectual yajna will generate profound insights and actionable frameworks for the future. A key highlight of our inaugural session will be the symbolic release of the conference book of abstracts of 71 papers and the book of proceedings in 2 volumes from our previous Indo-Kenya uh, international conference held at Poornaprajna Institute of Management, Udupi, in collaboration with the Management University of Africa, Nairobi, held on 10th and 11th of May 2015. These 2 volumes have about 63 scholarly articles. We are also releasing a special book titled The Journey Within Karma Yoga to Dhyana Yoga, an analytical study of the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita written and compiled by Dr. P.S. Aital and Dr. Ramanathan Srinivasa, fellow of Indian Institute of Advanced Research, Simla. This book presents the initial 6 chapters of Gita as a structured and progressive roadmap for inner mastery, transitioning the individuals from the external world of action to inner state of mediative awareness. It analytically explores the synthesis of karma yoga, selfless action, jnana yoga, knowledge, and vairagya yoga, detachment, arguing that this integration is essential for conquering inner conflict and preparing the mind of dhyana yoga or meditation. The analysis uses a modern strategic framework like SWOT and ABCD to demonstrate the timeless and universal relevance of these ancient yogic principles for ethical leadership, emotional resilience, and personal transformation in contemporary life. We are dedicated to ensuring that the knowledge shared here today is propagated globally. To this end of the presented, to this end, all presented papers will be published in a conference proceedings book with ISBN and DOI, and selected important works following rigorous reviews will be featured in our esteemed Poornaprajna International Journals ensuring a lasting scholarly legacy for this event. This commitment reflects our mission to actively pursue, actively preserve, disseminate, and apply Indian knowledge systems for the benefit of all. Today's chief guest, Mr. Ramesh Vaidya, is a highly accomplished banking professional and academic resource, currently serving as an assistant general manager at Karnataka Bank Udupi. With the extensive experience spanning specialized areas including agriculture credit, retail, MSME, and corporate lending, his professional career reflects a consistent and successful progression, starting as a direct recruiting officer under the special category of Agri Field Officer and advancing through key roles such as branch head, chief manager, marketing head for the Eastern Zone, and head of agriculture products. Mr. Vaidya's key professional skills are diverse, encompassing expertise in asset and liability products, making of bank product, marketing of bank products, risk management, and product design, complemented by strong general skills in leadership, problem solving, and adaptability. Academically, Mr. Vaidya is a distinguished by exceptional achievement in agricultural sciences and management. He secured the first rank in both his BSc Agriculture and MSc Agriculture degrees from University of Agricultural Sciences, Bangalore, earning 9 gold medals during his MSc program. Further enhancing his profile, he holds an MBA in Finance and Banking and a PGDCA in Computer Applications, both achieving an excellent grade. His commitment to continuous learning is evidenced by participating in specialized training programs at prestigious institutions like Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, for leadership development, and numerous banking institutions such as NIBM and CAB Pune. Beyond core banking, Mr. Vaidya is a seasoned speaker and resource person, having worked as a guest faculty for over 600 sessions at various banking training colleges, including both Karnataka Corporation Bank, Canara Bank, and NABARD. He has a notable record of achievements, including being the recipient of Management Directors Club Membership Award and multiple $1 million table awards for his contribution to the life insurance sector. His engagement extends to academic guidance, having guided many BBM and MBA students on their project work and contributing as a resource person to seminars on subjects like ethical leadership, biodiversity, and economics of growing crops. On behalf of all of us gathered here, I welcome you, sir, to this inaugural session of this first international conference on relevance of ancient Indian knowledge to management and technology in the 21st century at Poornaprajna Institute of Management. We also record our gratitude to Karnataka Bank for accepting as a major sponsor of this conference. Dr. A.P. Bhatt, the president of today's inaugural session, is a distinguished academician and physicist closely associated with the Poornaprajna Group of Institutions. He served as a faculty member in the Department of Physics at the Poornaprajna College, Udupi, as principal at the Poornaprajna College, Udupi, known for its strong science programs, and as administrative officer of Udupi Shri Adamaru Education Council at Udupi branch. Currently, he holds the honorary secretary position at Udupi Shri Adamaru Education Council in Bangalore. Dr. Bhatt is an ideal teacher, motivating and inspiring students to redefine and set higher goals in the science and technology. Beyond its academic and administrative roles, Dr. Bhatt is widely recognized and celebrated for his passionate hobby of popularizing astronomy. He is a dedicated science communicator who actively engage in sky gazing activities. Through these efforts, he presents the entire sky in a small format to the people and fosters a love for cosmos, often using telescopes to bring the wonders of moon, planets, and distant stars closer to amateur enthusiasts. His work in this area has been instrumental in inspiring a new generation of astronomers and science lovers in this region, making him a pivotal figure in science outreach. On behalf of all of us gathered here, we welcome you, sir, as President of the inaugural session of the first inaugural international conference on relevance of ancient Indian knowledge to management and technology of 21st century. Dr. G.S. Chandrasekhar, our honorary secretary, who guides and inspires us for the innovative academic and research track of the institution, is today out of station and watching the conference online. On behalf of all of us gathered here, we welcome you, sir. P.A.T. Prashant Hulla is a senior chartered accountant and honorary treasurer of Poornaprajna Institute of Management. On behalf of all of us gathered here, we welcome you, sir. We have eminent invited speakers who will present their research outcomes and thoughts in the plenary session of the conference. Professor Dr. Ramanathan Srinivasan, Fellow of Indian Institute of Advanced Studies, Simla. Professor Dr. KVM Varamballi, former Director of Management Institute of Manipal, Manipal. Professor Dr. Gopalacharya, Director, Vadiraja Research Center, Udupi, and many others are with us. We have Dr. Ramuyal, the principal of Poornaprajna College. I would like to welcome him to this program. We welcome all invited speakers who are presenting their papers both online and offline during this conference. A heartfelt welcome is due to all contributed paper presenters, invitees, and guests, including Professor Krishna Kotai, Professor M.R. Hegde, Dr. Chandrakanta Bhatt, Dr. Anandapular, Dr. Somyaji, Dr. Prakash Rao, Dr. Sudhakara Agadiga, Dr. M.R. Vasudeva, and many others who are with us for this inaugural program, our teaching and non-teaching staff members, and finally our students who are actively participating as listeners. On behalf of Poornaprajna Institute of Management, I thank our international partner, Madhesh University, Birgunj, Nepal, and its dean, Dr. Anjay Kumar Mishra, who is with us online, and he will be presenting a special invited paper after this inauguration. And all these scholars who have traveled to Udupi to share their wisdom. As we focus into the core question, what secret, wisdom, and knowledge do ancient tales have? Let us embrace the spirit of sincere inquiry and reflection. May this conference inspire every participant to cultivate inner mastery and integrate the wisdom of our heritage into their professional lives, leading to a more purposeful and peaceful world. I now invite the esteemed dignitaries to officially commence our proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your warm and inspiring words of welcome. We acknowledge the presence of Dr. Ramesh T.S., Professor and Head of the Department of Sanskrit, Dr. Vinay Ramu, Emeritus Professor of our institution, Mr. Veena Shetty, Wilford's Enterprise Private Limited, Mr. Prashant Yesrao, Senior Manager, Karnataka Bank, Professor Harpita Ramanathan, and Dr. Madhesh A.M., and all the invited guests. Thank you all for your kind presence here today. We shall now proceed to offer floral greetings and traditional felicitation. I request our director, Dr. P.S. Aital, and the convener of the conference, Dr. Bharat V, to florally welcome the dignitaries on the days and present the shawls as a token of respect and appreciation. I request Bharat sir to florally welcome our director, Dr. P.S. Aital. And our heartfelt thanks to the dignitaries for graciously accepting the felicitation. To introduce the theme and objectives of this international conference, I now invite Professor Venugopal Rao A.S., one of the conveners of the conference and the academic coordinator of the MCA program of our institute, to present the prelude to the conference.
Scholars, distinguished guests, scholars, academicians, students, and dear friends. A very good morning to everyone gathered here. We are gathered here today in Udupi, a land sanctified by philosophical brilliance, spiritual devotion, and intellectual engagement. This sacred ground is not only center of faith, but also a cradle of wisdom, a place where devotion and knowledge coexist in perfect harmony. It is in this very soil that Vaita School of Philosophy took birth, founded by Jagaguru Shri Matha celebrates birth of independence of the soul and dependence on the spirit. Among the 8 holy matas established by the Acharya, Shri Adamaru Matha holds a distinguished position, having nurtured generations of saints who were not only spiritual leaders but also great scholars of Vedas, Upanishads, and Puranas. Among the great scholars of this lineage, we must also recall His Holiness Shri Swamiji, a towering figure in the Vaita philosophy and a visionary educationist. Swamiji firmly believed that education must not only merely inform but transform, that ancient wisdom should illuminate modern disciplines. His tireless efforts led to the establishment of several premier institutions under Shri Adamaru Education Council, including our own Poornaprajna Institute of Management, which proudly carries forward his mission of value-based learning rooted in Indian traditions and global relevance. In today's fast changing world of science, business, and technology, it is essential to reconnect with the ancient Indian knowledge system that formed the foundation of holistic learning. Our ancestors explored every domain of human inquiry, from Ayurveda to astronomy, architecture to arithmetic, philosophy to policy, and management mechanics. Their discoveries were guided by deep ethical consciousness and harmony with nature. Our Rigvedic quote says, Ano bhadraha yantu vishwataha. Let noble thoughts come to us from every side. This reminds us that knowledge transcends boundaries of time and place. Ancient India encouraged openness, curiosity, and intellectual humility, values that are equally vital in today's age of artificial intelligence and globalization. In fields like management, information technology, healthcare, construction, and sustainable development, we continue to rediscover principles that were deeply understood by our forebears. The Arthashastra of Kautilya laid the foundation for management and economics. The Charaka and Sushruta Samhitas defined the ethics of medical practice. The Surya Siddhanta showed light on the cosmos with scientific precision, and Vastu Shastra guided sustainable architecture centuries before the term green building existed. To celebrate, study, and reinterpret these treasures in today's context, this institution, inspired by the ideas of our Matha and blessings of His Holiness Shri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, has taken a proud step forward by organizing this international conference. This conference brings together scholars, researchers, and industry experts to discuss how the timeless wisdom of India can contribute to innovation, ethics, and sustainability in our modern world. As we commence this intellectual journey, let us remember that we are not merely looking back at history, but drawing from it the strength to shape a wiser, more compassionate future. I extend my heartfelt good wishes to all speakers, delegates, and participants. May this conference ignite fresh insights, inspire collaborative learning, and reaffirm our collective faith in India's eternal wisdom. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful and contextual overview. Let us now light the lamp of knowledge, the eternal symbol of wisdom and enlightenment. I would like to request all the dignitaries on the dais to kindly come forward for the lighting of the lamp.
शत्रुबुद्धि विनाशाय दीपज्योते नमोस्तुते दीपज्योते नमोस्तुते दीपज्योते नमोस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दन दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दन दीपो हरतु मे पापम् सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तुते सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तुते गुरुस्त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
The flame signifies purity, wisdom, and the dispelling of ignorance. May it guide us towards knowledge and truth. We will now have the privilege of listening to the recorded message and blessings of His Holiness Shri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, Chairman of Poornaprajna Group of Institutions, for the fulfillment of this conference, which will be played now.
So we are trying to make our students a great leaders. In Bharat, we believe in karma. I think we do good karmas. Definitely, we will get views for doing good karma. Jnana is for doing jnana. Doing jnana. 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 See, there are some Krishna, which is mindfulness. All the students and teachers who were going to involve in this conference definitely by Ashirvadas of Zuan and they are very good guys. So all of us.
We are deeply indebted to His Holiness Swamiji for his blessings, and on behalf of everyone gathered here, we express our heartfelt gratitude. It is now my honor to invite our chief guest, Shri Ramesh Vaidya, AGM Regional Office, Karnataka Bank, Udupi, to address the gathering.
Good morning to all. Very good morning. Thinking the blessings of Sri Lord Krishna and Swamiji, Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, respected dignitaries on the dais, Honorary Secretary, Udupi Sri Adamaru Education Council, Bangalore, Dr. A.P. Bhatt, Dr. A.S. Ayyar, Dr. Varambally, Dr. Ramanathan Srinivasan, and Dr. Gopalacharya, dignitaries of the dais, students, faculties, and my dear friends. Today, it is my proud privilege to be a part of this national level conference. At the outset, I would like to thank the management teams for giving us this opportunity. Thank you very much, sir. Our bank, Karnataka Bank, has been associated with the Poornaprajna Institute teams since its inception. Our bank was started during 1924, and last year we have completed centenary year, and our now it is not 1 year we have completed. This is 102 second year. 100th year it was celebrated meaningfully in all the centers of our regions, various regions. Meantime, our bank was started by basically agriculturists, lawyers, and chartered accountants. And with ethics and with our all the management, our founder fathers, our chairmen, they have given more importance to ethics rather than business and social importance. So, banks, you all know that banking is nothing but it is accepting deposits for the purpose of lending and investment. More than that, that means one more thing is that is social activities. How the banks are involving in social activities in the development of the society. That also our bank is deeply involved in taking up various CSR activities and to various educational institutions and so on. That means it helps directly or indirectly the society in the development of the country. And today's conference, I think I was hearing to Dr. Krishna Kothai sir. He was very experienced in the knowledge in the area of agriculture. I know it. I heard his name because I am also an agriculture graduate. I will start from agriculture. How ancient agriculture helped us in how the knowledge has given to the present day context. And the banking, yes, of course, I'm a practicing banker. In various areas, we have the good experience in the banking also. How banking has developed over the years from ancient period to the present day. Yes, agriculture, friends, you might have seen or might have read in newspapers that what was the fate of Indian agriculture during 4th or 5th century or ancient period, what is and what will be. You might have wondered, this is 2025, why he is concentrating on 1960s or, 4th or 5th century. Yes, there are good amount of reasons. Friends, if you go back to 4th or 5th century, as Dr. Krishna told, we were practicing one method of cultivation. It was called as extensive method of cultivation or zero cultivation. That means we are not adding any fertilizers, pesticides, or irrigation. We are not giving any irrigation to grow that crop. It was called as extensive method of cultivation. Contrary to that, now we are practicing method of cultivation that is called as intensive method of cultivation. Intensive in the sense because of the land fragmentation, the agricultural land is becoming smaller and smaller. That means growing crops in the very small land holding, it is very difficult unless we practice the intensive method of cultivation. Then what is intensive? What is extensive? Extensive is nothing but if you throw some seeds on the ground, provided the ground has sufficient moisture content, definitely the seeds will absorb moisture. It gives, it germinates, it gives yield, and if you harvest that yield, that is called as yield from the extensive method of cultivation, zero cultivation. That means to say that we are not adding any fertilizers, pesticides, or irrigation to that crop, that particular crop. But contrary to that, intensive cultivation means here, let us assume a patient has been kept inside the intensive care unit. How the doctors are attending that patient? That means they are giving fertilizer, they are giving medicine, They are giving all type of treatment at the right time, at the right dose to save that patient. Like that, if you give the irrigation, fertilizers, pesticides at the right time and right dose, definitely it is possible to harvest a very good yield in a very small area. No, this concept that is in the present day context, it is very applicable. Yes, it is required. The ancient knowledge is very much required in case of agriculture because yes, he has mentioned the heavy usage of fertilizers and pesticides. Friends, earlier, as I mentioned, we were growing the crops by using zero cultivation or extensive method of cultivation. Now we are in intensive cultivation methods. And in between, there are so many revolutions, as he mentioned. It may be green revolution, it may be white revolution, it may be yellow revolution, it may be blue revolution. It may be rainbow revolution or it may be gene revolution. Now we are in the gene revolution. From green revolution to gene revolution. There are so many revolutions. These revolutions, they have given a paradigm shift in the agriculture from the ancient to the present day context. Friends, during the 1950s, before 1940s, the Indian population was around 40 crores, and the agricultural yield was not sufficient to cater to the needs of the growing population. Friends, because of these revolution and innovative technology and all, present we are going around the 300 plus million tons of food grains. That is sufficient to cater to the needs of the growing population. Friends, around 10 years back, three American scientists visited India. Directly from the airport, they went to the shoes of the Indian farmers. They went to the beds of the Indian farmers. They have collected lots and lots of information regarding Indian agriculture. Yes, they have prepared a beautiful article regarding Indian agriculture. That article says, I have taken only the summary of that article or abstract of that article. That article says, Indian farmers are born in debt, lies in debt, and dies in debt. And the indebtedness is the only follower for the Indian farmers from cradle to grave. See, this was the situation because of the growing population, the what we have growth that was not sufficient to cater the needs of the growing population during those days. Now the entire scenario of agriculture has been changed because of these type of revolutions and innovative technology. What we are practicing in agriculture. Thanks to the scientific community for giving this much technology in agriculture. In banking, if you come to the banking, yes, in banking, if you see the ancient banking, completely it was manual. You all know that earlier in banking, only the transaction was being done in the ledgers. They have to carry the ledgers from one place to another place. So only manual. Now, from 2000 onwards, all banks have started these core banking solutions. Now, all the banks are almost core banking now, online banking. Nowadays, we were practicing branchless banking also. We all know that in one single mobile, in one click, we can transfer the fund from one place to another place. This is the technology. See, going forward, definitely, even branchless banking, brick and mortar branches will disappear from entire this thing. Only one or two branches will be there to manage the entire show. So this situation will come in going forward. Apart from that, the other aspects like ancient Indian civilization is one of the oldest civilization in the world. It has contributed immensely to the global thought, philosophy, science, and governance. 21st century is an era defined by liberalization, privatization, globalization, and innovation, ethical challenges. The ancient wisdom continues to offer valuable insights for modern uh, management and technology. Ancient Indian texts such as Arthashastra, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and ancient treatises or books on mathematics, astronomy, and medicine provide a wisdom that remains relevant even today's world of artificial intelligence, innovation, and global management. The today's corporate world, where ethical scandals and stress are common, principles like karma yoga, that is work without selfish motive, and dharma, moral responsibility, promote sustainable value-based management. Ancient Indian thinkers viewed management not as just a system of control, but as an ethical human centered process. It is an ethical human centered process. Like that, it was viewed in ancient period. For example, Arthashastra by Kautilya. Kautilya Arthashastra remains one of the earliest treatise books on economics, politics, and strategy. This describes principles of leadership, governance, economic planning, and administration, similar to modern corporate leadership values. It also discusses resource management, strategic planning, and risk management, which align the today's management principles like SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats, and corporate strategy. India remains unbroken link between most ancient and most modern. Ancient India's scientific achievements and the contribution in mathematics and astronomy, science and medicine, Ayurveda and yoga has a immense capacity to referred by the present day context. Some modern day mathematics theorems and concepts are derived from ancient mathematics. Like example, Budhyan was the first mathematicians to calculate the value of pi. I think you all know pi. What is pi? He also provided the equations similar to the Pythagoras theorems in his books Sulla Sutra. Pi is being used to calculate the area of circle. This was the ancient period. No instrument, their own instruments were there. No sophisticated instruments were not there. But using the whatever available in that period, they have made a very good innovations on various aspects of mathematics. Aryabhatta was a famous mathematician, astrologer, astronomer, physicist in 5th century AD. At the age of 23, he wrote a book named Aryabhatiya, which was a collection of advanced mathematical concepts. Even today, it is relevant. He is independently calculated the value of pi, that is, value of pi he calculated, that is 3.1416 during those days. The innovation of zero and his most notable contribution, that is Aryabhatta's most notable contribution was innovation of zero. This led to calculate the distance between the earth and the moon. And even today, it is very relevant. The Bhagavad Gita, I need not explain this thing to you. The Bhagavad Gita promotes karma yoga, selfless action, and equanimity in decision making, relevant for stress management and ethical leadership. It encourages emotional intelligence and mindful leadership, which are highly valued in modern organizations. Panchatantra and Hitopadeshas, I think you might have read the Panchatantra stories. They teach management through stories, moral lessons on communication, negotiation, teamwork, and problem solving skills. And this is vital for the organization and their success. Friends, any organization, definitely problems will be there. Resolving the problem and escalating it, this is the most important requirement one should learn. Problem solving skills. Management means problem solving skill nowadays. The ancient knowledge in innovation and technology, ancient India made significant contribution to the science and technology. It may be innovation of zero, metallurgy, surgery by Sushruta and Charaka, architecture, astronomy by Aryabhatta and Varahamira. These innovations highlights the Indian emphasis on experimentation, precision, and sustainability. Friends, sustainable and balanced development, Vedas and Upanishads teach harmony between the humans and nature. The ecological balance. Nowadays, we are speaking about ecological balance. If there is ecological imbalance, definitely it will lead to one or the other way harmful to the earth. For example, you might have heard the increase in carbon dioxide, increase in the nitrogen dioxide leads to global warming. Even in fact, if you grow paddy and because of the submerged conditions, it will release methane on a large scale. This is also a global warming gas. If you open the fridge door, the fumes will come. Methane, the fumes will come. Those fumes are also very harmful to the environment. So balancing environment is also very very important to take care of take care of the nature. Relevance in the face of climate change and technological overviews. These philosophies inspire sustainable management and eco-friendly technological innovations. Human resource and motivations. Yes, in any organization, human resource plays a very important role because of recent developments, this artificial intelligence and growing technology. Definitely, it may have some setback to the human resources of the any organization, but it is required. The Indian philosophy recognizes self-awareness and mindful as a key to excellence. Modern management now embraces yoga, meditation, and strategy management, leadership development, and work-life balances. Because of the stress in the working environment, the work-life balance is also becoming more and more important. To conclude my speech, ancient Indian knowledge is not merely of historical interest. It is a living reservoir of ideas that can guide the modern world. By integrating this timeless wisdom with cutting edge technology and management practices, the 21st century can achieve a balance between material progress and spiritual well being, efficiency, and ethics. By blending the Indian ethical and spiritual strategic insights with modern technological or technical innovations, the 21st century can achieve not just economic growth but also social harmony and sustainable progress. Friends, I will end this address with a kaga of DVG. You all know that our famous, one of the famous poet DVG, he wrote kaggas, around 950 kaggas he wrote. All the kaggas are very much related to the management, right? Today's based management. I will quote one kagga here. ಹೊಸ ಚಿಗುರು ಹಳೆ ಬೇರು ಕೂಡಿರಲು ಮರ ಸೊಬಗು ಹೊಸ ಯುಕ್ತಿ ಹಳೆ ತತ್ವ ಒಡೆಗೂಡೆ ಧರ್ಮ ಹೊಸ ಚಿಗುರು ಹಳೆ ಬೇರು ಕೂಡಿರಲು ಮರ ಸೊಬಗು ಹೊಸ ಯುಕ್ತಿ ಹಳೆ ತತ್ವ ಒಡೆಗೂಡೆ ಧರ್ಮ ಋಷಿ ವಾಕ್ಯದೊಡನೆ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಕಲೆ ಮೇಳವಿಸೆ ಕೆಸವು ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಂಕುಟಿ ಋಷಿ ವಾಕ್ಯದೊಡನೆ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಕಲೆ ಮೇಳವಿಸೆ ಕೆಸವು ಜನಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಂಕುಟಿಮ್ಮ. I will translate into the English. Fresh leaves backed by old roots makes a tree a beautiful tree. New tanks backed by old principles mold righteous noble words. And noble words of saints blended with art of science heralds success to the mankind. So both are required. Definitely, we should not forget the ancient, and we should practice the present day technology also, present day context also, blending these ancient and present day technology. Definitely, it will helpful to the growing country like India. And I wish this conference a great success. I wish all the best to each one of you. I think you are all students here. You are all management students here. This type of seminars, this type of conferences will help to gain much more knowledge in the importance of Indian literature, the ancient Indian contribution towards the management and technology. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring and thought-provoking address. Here I proceed to invite CAT Prashanta Hulla, Honorary Treasurer of the Governing Council of PIM, to kindly address us.
Taking the blessings of His Holiness, Shri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, dignitaries on the dais, and many dear students. Today we are all gathered here for the inaugural session of this international conference on the relevance of ancient Indian knowledge to management and technology in the 21st century. As you all know, our Indian ancient systems are very popular, and it was there to influence the whole world. Universities like Nalanda and Takshashila are being attended by students from all over the world. The knowledge that has been gained there has been disseminated to all the world. Even those knowledge that has been taught there at that time is also relevant now. Whatever the management that we are teaching today is all based on the ancient system of knowledge. So whatever the system that was there at that time, it taught loyalty, integrity, and truthfulness, which is, I think, now missing in today's management. And during this today's deliberation that is going to be conducted here in our PM, you all focus on those things and try to develop that whatever that is missing in today's management. I congratulate Dr. P.S. Saikal and his team for conducting this today's international conference here in our PAM, and I wish this conference all the success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your erudite remarks. Now, we are delighted to mark this occasion with the release of 3 books. The book of abstracts of this conference. The second one is the conference proceedings of the Indo-Kenyan Conference held in May 2025. And the third one is a book authored by our director, Dr. P.S. Saikal. It's my turn to request the dignitaries on the dates to kindly release the publications. Here is the release of the book of abstracts of the The second book, the conference proceedings of the Indo-Kenyan Conference held in May 2024. Publication of a very memorable international conference that was held at PAM in the month of May. The third one is the book authored by our director. So the title of the book, authored by Dr. P.S. Paital, our director. Thank you, sir. And yeah, co-authored by Dr. Ramanathan Srinivasan. Thank you, sir. I now have the privilege to invite Dr. K.P. Bhatt, Honorary Secretary of Udupi Shri Adamaru Education Council, Bengaluru, the president of this session, to deliver the presidential remarks.
Blessings of Shri Pranam and the Swamiji's prayers, Shri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, Shri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji, the president of our Poornaprajna groups, Shri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji. Here is on the grass, Shri Vaidyaji and Shri Ramanathan and Dr. Paramali Shivalaji and Manya Gopal Acharya and respected speakers, dear students. I'm very happy to see a beautiful conference coined by Dr. Ithard. It's a very unique conference. As we came to know, we are thinking the relevance of ancient Indian knowledge, one part, to management, another part. The another part is technology in the 21st century. I was shocked to see this beautiful arrangement and presentation and the papers, of course. There are nearly 28 papers in which I shocked. Of course, each and the corner of Indian knowledge system is touched by eminent speakers here. I'm very happy. I will not talk about too much with respect to the presentation done by Sri Vaidya and Krishna Gathar, a good old friend of mine. After hearing their presentations, I must touch upon my topic, my field. I purely respect to astronomy. Dear friends, I am an amateur astronomer in which I studied a lot to know more about astronomy in my own way. But one or two points I must mention here that in Rigveda there is a statement. Sano Mahan Aimano Dhumake Purush Chandraha, like that. In the last month, we have three comets. Of course, one is very famous. It's actually not from our solar system, it's from the other galaxy. We received three comets. The word of comet was coined as Dhumaketu by in our ancients in Rigveda itself. Dhumaketu, what is the meaning of that? But the stone which comes our sun with a Dhuma, not the light. See the thinking, see the vision of our rishis in which now we say a comet which usually having a stone structure with a tail of nearly 1 lakh kilometer. It's actually just resolve. I see this. It was observed without an instrument by our rishis in Rigveda. They mentioned that there is a Dhuma Ketu. In the same way, they mentioned about Bhasa Ketu, that is, which is emitting radiations. We talk about our meteors now, in which a meteor is advancing a falling stone at a height of nearly 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Because of friction, it will be completely burned. And because of that, there is an emission of radiation. So the rishis mentioned is as Bhasa Ketu, which is emitting radiation. I would like to hear that word. They have such a vision regarding nature. In astronomy, they touch all these aspects. And one more aspect is that regarding, I must mention one book. These points are mentioned in a book written by Professor Ahalna, a scientist who worked for nearly more than 5 decades in the Indian Institute of Science as a mechanical engineer. But he had written a book called Parashara Tantra. I forgot to read that. It is called Parashara Tantra. He collected the Parashara Tantra written by nearly 5,000 years ago by Parashara, not the Parashara of our Mahabharata, another Parashara. It is called Parashara Tantra, in which nearly 5,000 years ago, Indians observed 26 comets. There's a list of all sky observations by Indians in a better way. 26 comets, and they mentioned that in comets there are different types. When a comet may come in a parabolic path, it may be periodic. They mentioned that there are periodic comets. For example, a Halley comet is a periodic comet in which it will come our sun nearly 76 years once. They mentioned periodic time comet. See such a clarity in their presentation. That book is called as Parashara Tantra. I request you, please go through a book called Parashara Tantra, in which I repeat once again, nearly 5,000 years ago, it is not in this century, nearly 5,000 years ago, Indian scientists, I say the scientists, they observed the sky in a better way and represented each and every aspects of sky in a better way. Short, it is written by Professor R. And he collected all Sanskrit concepts because and an English book. I am naturally thinking to write it in Kannada, translate it in Kannada. Such a beautiful observation of ancient Indians. So that's one book. One more book I want to represent here. It's written by Shri, our Professor Michael Danino. I hope you heard. Please remember his name, Michael Danino. He had written a book called The Lost River of Saraswati. We have a Vedic statement. Imam me Gange Yamune Saraswati Shuchitristomam Sajata Purvashniya Aseknya Marudradhe Vidastaya Jiye Shronakya Sushobaya. We have Sapta Sindhus. In that we have Saraswati. All the Sapta Sindhus rivers are mentioned in this book as the Rigveda. Such a beautiful environment in which we have such an extraordinary developments in the India in the Saraswati belt. It's actually in the northern western corner of India. And Michael Danno was a German, and he studied complete Vedic science in a better way. Written this book called The Lost River of Saraswati. Nearly 10,000 years ago, in the Mahabharata, in the starting of Mahabharata, we lost this river, but in that, you call it as Indo development, Indo civilization, and so on. All developed in a better way, and he had written this book in a very, very fashioned way, in which, after getting the information from the satellites, the book is so nice. I repeat once again, please see this book, The Lost River of Saraswati, and Professor Michael Danno have presented more than 32 presentations in front of IIT Kanpur students, are all purely with respect to the ancient, extraordinary works of it. May be literature, it may be the sculpture, it may be Sangeeta, it may be music, everything in a beautiful way. Its presentation was so nice. Please go through the web, Michael, and you will get all these information extraordinary. I'm very happy to hear all these because our ancients had a vision, not a vision of an ordinary student. They have a vision, pure vision with respect to nature. And they observed, they represented in a better way. And it's to have these type of discussions in this conference in which the ancients have a perfect vision of knowledge. It must be understood both in management as well as in our field of science and technology. Definitely useful to our knowledge system. I'm thankful that right now for one is in a beautiful way the whole team of PIM, and I congratulate Dr. Raita as well as all the scientists who are representing these papers. Of course, one paper from Shri Harish Kumar Majesta from Japan, and there are a number of papers from even Varam Pelli from America. There are a number of papers from all the globe. I wish this conference all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your visionary guidance and motivating words. As a token of our thankfulness, I request our director to present a memento to our chief guest and president of the program. Thank you, sir, for honoring us with your esteemed presence today. To express our collective gratitude, I invite Dr. Bharat V, conference convener, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Divine blessings of our revered President, Shri Eeshapriyatheertha Swamiji. It is our bounden duty to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all those whose support and dedication have contributed to the grand success of this international conference. We are deeply grateful to our President and the management for their continued encouragement, guidance, and unwavering support in all our academic endeavors. Our sincere thanks to Honorable Chief Guest Shri Ramesh Vaidya, AGM, Canada Bank Udupi, for gracing this occasion. We value the presence inspiring us. Thank you. Our heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Secretary Dr. Chandrasekhar, though he could not be present here today, for his constant motivation and encouragement. We also express our sincere gratitude to our guest of honor and Honorable Treasurer CAT Prashant Pulla sir for his gracious presence and support. A special word of thanks to Dr. A.P. Bhatt, Honorable Secretary, Udupi Management Education Council, Bangalore, for presiding over this function and adding value to the event by his presence and kind words. So we remain thankful to our beloved director, Dr. Shri Raman Kaikal sir, for his dynamic leadership and continuous mentoring that made the difference. Reality. Thanks to Dr. Krishna Kothai sir for a delightful pre-inaugural speech. So our sincere thanks to Dr. Ramanathan Srinivasan sir, Dr. KVM Varumalli, former director, Nepal University, Professor Dr. Gopalacharya. Thank you very much for your presence and would be the resource persons for the next session. So thanks to our former director, Dr. M.R. Venkateswaran, for your presence. And our sincere thanks to all the principals and HODs, particularly Dr. Sriram sir, Chandrakant sir, and HODs Dr. Prakash Rao and Swamiji sir, and Dr. Anand sir, then officials from administrative office, so Nityanand sir, and Dr. Kodancha sir, and also we recognize the presence of Dr. Ganesh Murthy. So thank you. So our sincere thanks to Vinay Prabhu sir and Mr. Vasudev sir
And more than that, we would like to express our greatest gratitudes to our prominent sponsor, so Karnataka Bank, by management. Thank you very much. And other contributors, Bullforce Private Limited. So we are grateful to them, to Mr. Vinada Shetty, and we recognize the contribution of Messrs. Ramadut Enterprises, Wilson National Equipment Company, and Messrs. KV Pai and Sons, City Union Bank, and also we recognize the contribution of City Union Bank. So we extend our sincere appreciation to the conference coordinators for their dedicated teamwork and tireless efforts and planning and execution. A warm and grateful thanks to all our invited speakers, resource persons, and participants for their enriching presentations and scholarly contributions in the coming sessions. Our gratitude also goes to all invitees, faculty members, non-teaching staff, and our enthusiastic students who have worked silently and sincerely made the scene to make this program successful. Finally, to each one of you present here today, thank you for your valuable time, presence, and support. Once again, thanks to all the audience and dignitaries of this particular program. So let us carry forward the spirit of learning, sharing, and collaboration. With best wishes, and thank you very much.
As we embark on 2 days of thought-provoking deliberations, we shall hear from scholars and practitioners across disciplines, exploring the many dimensions of how ancient Indian wisdom continues to guide modern management and technology. Let us all enjoy and bask in the glory of our timeless knowledge heritage, which continues to illuminate our paths even in the 21st century. As it is a quote from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Nrityurma Amritamaya, lead us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, and from mortality to immortality. May this conference be a humble step in that eternal journey towards truth and enlightenment. With that, we conclude the inaugural session of this international conference. May the sessions ahead enlighten our minds and inspire our actions. Thank you, one and all. Namaskara.